My name is Queen Zawaya Counts, and I would like to welcome you to my channel, When Zawaya Speaks. Man, I have been on like a spiritual hiatus from November 20th all the way until the beginning of the year. I'm going to continue staying on my hiatus. But people have been asking me questions, and one of the questions that I was asked was, how do you access your higher self? Oh my God. First of all, you have to understand that you are a frequency. There is a song that goes, my energy is infinite. Look at yourself as an energy inside of a human body. I'm not saying look at yourself as a spirit. I ain't saying any of that. You can, but we're going to put that on the back burner. What I am talking about is look at your energy. Pay attention to your frequency. How do you want your frequency to be? And what I have found, and I'm talking about what actually works for me, and I hope that it can work for you, that in order for me, or in order for, yeah, I'm going to say, in order for me to be able to access my higher self, I had to be accepting of everything pertaining to me. My shadow self, some of y'all want to call that your dark. My lower vibrations, I call that my earthly vibrations. My higher vibrations, I call that the cosmic, the consciousness, changing that. But in order to change that, in order for you to access your higher self, a lot of people say that you got to go into this deep meditation. And I'm not saying that meditation is bad, because meditation is actually good. I used to could not meditate. I used to tell people, I don't meditate. When in all reality, I was meditating. In all reality, when I took a few minutes out the day to just breathe and relax my mind and clear my thoughts, or even to start over, that became a form of meditation for me. So you've got all these gurus and all these spiritual people and all of these channels on YouTube which will tell you this is how you meditate to access your higher self. That's all good and dandy. But there are some people who have a difficult time staying within the meditation. So what you have to do is be accepting of who you are. Be accepting of your likes, your dislikes. Be accepting of your shadow self that makes you bold and makes you speak your truths. And a lot of times what blocks us is our throat chakra. And we'll get into the chakras later. But with this video, it is all about how to access your higher self. We deal with a lot of emotional trauma. We deal with things that we know that we should have said to people, but we didn't say, but we had those conversations in our minds. And sometimes we go back and we revisit those conversations. But in order for you to truly access your higher self, you've got to stay present in the moment. You got to allow those thoughts to come, because they are part of you, and that's going to be natural. But you have to stay present. The key is to stay present in all situations. Another thing is to not allow yourself to overthink. We overthink. We watch videos on social media apps, YouTube. We see people posting up. They look like they got it going on. They are draped in crystals, and they talk about orbs, and they talk about all of these things. They look the part constantly. They wear copper. They wear, they have their ankhs, their crystals, and people really think, wait a minute, they got it going on. But that comes with work. Be authentic. Don't focus on what other people are doing, how they're feeling, what they saying. Your best advice is to yourself. because you should know yourself so deeply that nobody can tell you anything. Yes, you can connect with your ancestors, but you know your ancestors live inside of you. You can connect with the source, but you know that the source is inside of you. It's inside of you, and I'm tapping my heart because that's where it's at. Trying to force yourself to access your higher self because you see what everybody else is doing and how everybody else is trying to tell you you're going to fail. I tried it. I failed. But when I begin to sit with myself, and when I begin to allow those thoughts to come, whether, we talk about good, bad, evil, we always want to do a separation. That's bad, that's not good. Oh, that's dark, that's not of the light. We always want to separate ourselves because that is because of the programming. It started when we was younger, when we were taught the difference between hot and cold. We were told what was good for us, what was not good for us. Our parents told us that we couldn't eat a lot of sugar and we couldn't do a lot of this and we couldn't do a lot of that. And then when we became teenagers, we were stuck. We were told we had to grow up. We had to act a certain way. We had to be a certain way. And all of that became programming. And then as adults, it was the same thing. I remember one time when I was turning 50. Well, older women wear their hair short. So I noticed that my friends was cutting their hair off to wear it short because they was older. They was conforming to the program that was given to them on how they should act, how they should be, how they should dress as an older woman or person, whatever. And all of that tied in to people trying to walk their spiritual path. Let this go, do that, focus in on the light. You can't think that way. You can't say this. You can't say that. That is not what the source has given us. That is not what this is about. Because remember that everything came from the void. We had the primordial mothers, the primordial energies. And things just were before words formed, before emotions formed. And being able to access your higher self is being able to see who you truly are. As it is within, it is without. As it is above, it is below. As it is to the top, it is to the bottom. As it is to the right, it is to the left. And when you start labeling things, you become disconnected. You become disconnected to yourself. And sometimes your higher self is your higher consciousness that will guide you. And there are times where you will tend to ignore that. And then when certain things happen, like, darn, I should have listened. Darn, I heard that. That is your intuitiveness. A lot of times people say you got to become a vegan. You can't eat meat. You can't do this. You can't do that. Those are restrictions. Your body will talk to you. When your body begins to change, certain tastes for certain foods will no longer exist. Listen to, that's accessing your higher self. Listen to that. Listen to what your body wants. And when you begin to do that, when you pick up a crystal, you will know what it's doing for you. When you work with metals like copper and gold and silver, you will know how your body will react to that. You will have conversations with yourself. You will tap into your inner power. You will remember where you came from. You will remember who you are. And then we have astrology, right? So we have the zodiac signs. I'm a Sagittarius. Characteristics of a Sagittarius is being adventurous, being very spiritual, all of those things. So we try to embody those characteristics of our birth sign. But there is a positive and there is a negative. And you have to be able to embody all of those things. Nature teaches us that. 12 hours a day we have the sunlight. 12 hours at night we have night. And even though there are some places that stay night for a certain amount of time or stay day for a certain amount of time, it's still a balance. So if you are unbalanced, if you are seeking to be relevant, if you are seeking for validation, if you are seeking to have a belonging, to belong to something, then it's going to be so hard for you to access your higher self because you are still holding on to the paradigm of what other people are telling you what your spiritual walk should be. I remember when I was first started, I had never heard of African traditional religions. And as I started learning and started trying to access certain things, I had so many people who were older than me, so many people who had more wisdom than me, telling me, you need to initiate this, you need to initiate that, you need to do this, you need to do that, you got to stop this, you got to stop that, you need to read this book, you need to read that book. It just went on and on and on. And all it did was bring confusion. It brought confusion to me. Because I was trying to be all of those things, but I was not being myself. I was not allowing the source. I was not allowing the great mothers, to guide me. All my initiations, all the things that I went through did not activate me. Yes, it gave me wisdom. Yes, it allowed me to understand certain things. But in order for me to be the best that I had to be, I had to go with it. So I don't have a whole list of rules for you to access your higher self. But I can tell you one thing. In order for you to access your higher self and to be the best that you got to be, go within. Release self-doubt. Have more self-love. Don't compare yourself to what you see. If you want to wear faux locks, wear them. If you want to cut your hair off, cut it off. If that's how you feel. If you want to wear head wraps, wear them. Cover. Do whatever you got to do that is making you happy. But don't do it in order to seek validation from other people so people can see that you have accessed your higher self. And when you bring that balance to yourself, you bring remembrance. And when that remembrance comes and you reclaim your sovereignty and you release the fear of trying to make sure that you are constantly doing it right, you have accessed your highest self. You have accessed what you are supposed to be accessing. You have become that which the source has designed you to be. Yeah. That is what worked for me. And that's why I am sharing this with you all. That is how you can access who you truly are. Maybe religion, initiating into different religions, maybe working with different religious systems will help you. I don't know what your path is. I don't know what you're being guided to do. But this right here is just common sense. And even if you decide to be part of a religious group, to follow a certain religious practice, keep in mind that in order for you to be successful for that, you still have to accept everything about you. and understand that everything about you is good. My name is Queen Zoya Counts. Thank you for listening when Zoya speaks, how to access your higher self. Like and subscribe. Thank you.